Take me to the little theater off Times Square. Barbara Letty and Les Tremaine. And Joe Penna said, yuck, yuck, yuck. With a cloud of dust, the speed of light, and a hearty hi-yo silver away. Procter & Gamble provided many Fulbright and Guggenheim Fellowship winners with the same formative exposure. Long Island had loads of screen doors and porches. Screen doors to push your nose against, porches to hide under. It always smelled funny under the porch. I had a continuing vision of one day crawling under there and finding a large cache of money, which I would spend nobly on my mother and my aunt. But not until they explained the under-the-sink apparatus, and if there was enough money, perhaps, Mima would even demonstrate it for me. I would usually hide under the porch until it came time to get it. You just wait till your father comes home and you're really gonna get it. I always thought what a pain in the ass it would be to be a father. You have to work hard all day, and then instead of resting when you come home, you have to give it to someone. I didn't get it as much as other kids, though, because my mother and father were divorced. I had to wait until visiting days to get it. I looked back in tender, relished anger, and I could smell the damp newspapers that waited on the porch for the goodwill. They never picked up anything we gave them because we never had it packed right. And I can hear the muffled voices through the kerosene stove. Mickey, I don't know what we're gonna do with Lenny. He was so fresh to Mima. You know what he asked? Then they would all laugh hysterically, and then my father would schlep me up from under the porch and whack the crap out of me. For being fresh to Mima, for forgetting to change my good clothes after school and catching my corduroy knickers on a nail, and for whistling. I would even get it for whistling. I used to love to whistle. The first tune I learned to whistle was Amapola. Amapola, my pretty little poppy. I received most of my musical education from the sounds that wafted from the alley of Angelo's Bar and Grill. Ladies invited, free lunch. I was enthralled with the discovery of the jukebox. A machine that didn't sew, drill, boil, or kill. A machine solely for fun. Angelo, the tavern keeper, was a classic illustration of onomatopoeia. He laughed har, har, har. He talked exactly like the balloons in comic strips. When he was disturbed, he would say, ta, ta, ta. To express contempt, he would harumph. I kept waiting to hear Angelo's dog say, arf, arf. He never made a sound. I told this to Russell Swan, the oil painter, sometime house painter, and town drunk. He replied that the dog had been interbred with a giraffe, a reference I didn't understand, but which cracked up the erudite Mr. Swan. It must be lonesome being bright and witty and aware, but living in a town where you can't relate to people in all areas. Mr. Swan gave me the first book I ever read, Richard Halliburton's Royal Road to Romance, the tale of a world traveler who continually searches for beauty and inner peace. I love to read. Don't read at the table, I would be told. Why do they put that stuff on the cereal box if they don't want you to read? Not at the table. When I get big, I thought I'll read anywhere I want, standing on the subway. What's that you're reading, sir? A cereal box. I almost always made a good score in back of Angelo's Bar and Grill. The loot consisted of deposit bottles, but there was a hang-up. You could never find anyone willing to cash them. The most sought-after prize was the large Hoffman bottle, which brought a 5-cent bounty. Mr. Giraldo, our neighborhood grocer, cashed my mother's relief check, and so he knew we barely had enough money for staples. Therefore, the luxury of soda pop in the deposit bottles was obviously far beyond our economic sphere. Besides, he couldn't relate to children. He disliked them because they made him nervous. Could I have a glass of water, please? No, the water's broken. When I brought the bottles to him, he would interrogate me without an ounce of mercy. Did you buy these here? When did you buy them? I would always fall prey to his Olga of Interpol tactics. Yes, I think we bought them here. Then he would finger thump me on the back of the head as if he were testing a watermelon. Get the hell out of here. You never bought any soda here. I'm going to report you.